capital city in the world, Reno, Nevada. Hope you enjoy it. Nevada gets the first possession of the night. This is Sherfield. He's a big guard, Nick, 6'2", about 190. Remy Martin drawing the first assignment on him.
And Kansas is going to switch a lot of screens, Stephen, so a lot of different guys are going to get their hands on Grant Sherfield.
Ball into the backcourt. Harris causing the turnover, runs it down. Lob for Agbaji. McCormick cleaning it up. Wipe off the basket. They're going to call a foul on Agbaji's attempted catch.
But you see the speed, and that manifests itself in creating a turnover. Harris blew up. Look at him denying Cambridge the basketball, and that creates the live ball turnover and almost a highlight dunk out the gates. But that's a great job by Harris defensively dictating and making things happen.
Two teams that can really score the ball. Kansas averaging almost 86 points a game, 6th most in the country. Nevada's over 79 a game. Both want to play fast and put the ball in the hole. Agbaji's arguing that he was trying to shoot on that lob. The officials are saying not a shooting foul. Ball on the baseline. Bill Self not pleased.
And I think Bill Self's got a good point. And that was without question an alley-oop opportunity there, but now Kansas in control.
Now, holding foul called on Nevada.
Not sure what they're looking at here. They're going to get that shot clock.
Well, shot clock is the call. Get it to 20 seconds. They're calling no possession for Agbaji on the foul. Thus, can't be in the act of shooting if you never had it. Now they get a lob. And another foul on Nevada. Not the start the Wolfpack were looking for defensively with a couple fouls, one on each of their 7-footers.
Well, and this is what Kansas does such a good job with, throwing lobs, whether it's off set plays or pick roll, or they're a little down screen in a roll. And Agbaji's got such great shot credibility, 22 points per game. You have to send 2 at him. And now McCormick draws the foul.
Agbaji down to 22 points per game. He's only 3rd in the country in scoring right now.
Come on, Agbaji. What are you doing? What a start for him, though. It's just incredible how efficient he's been. Him and Christian Brown. I mean, their percentages are incredible.
Pair of outstanding wings that the Jayhawks have. Sherfield to the foul line. Fires. Agbaji the rebound. Jayhawks handling the size for Nevada so far on the first 2 possessions. Martin baseline setting up Agbaji. Triple on the money.
Just an awesome play from Remy Martin, though. Thinking about making plays for his teammates, and that's why Agbaji's having such a good year. It's because guys like Martin are just setting the table for him.
Down the baseline goes Desmond Cambridge Jr. Lost the handle. Jayhawks with a chance to run. McCormick wanting it. And got bumped in the back by Will Baker. That'll be Baker's first. Here's the Jayhawks setting up Agbaji.
It's just a really good play from Remy Martin. Just getting a piece of the paint, thinking about making plays for his teammates. And this is where Kansas is just lethal. Their transition offense, in particular their transition threes, really, really tough to deal with. You got to sprint back and get organized if you're Nevada.
Talking to Steve Alford today at Nevada's shoot-around, he said their biggest keys were guard the basketball and guard in transition. McCormick, nice move, scores it with the right hand.
Good opportunity for McCormick because he's likely going to get one-on-one post-up opportunities going against traditional true bigs. Got to get him opportunities to score.
Cambridge lighting up a 3. Agbaji tracking down the rebound. Brown working against the 7-footer Washington. Floater kissed home with a little touch.
You pointed it out, Stephen. One of the most interesting things of this game is, can Nevada play the 2 7-footers at the same time? Because Kansas is going to play 4 guards. There, Christian Brown attacking Washington. Can't handle Brown on the perimeter like that. Something to keep an eye on is Nevada's substitutions.
Steve Alford already with a sub at the scorer's table. He might agree with you that this isn't working early on. First 8 of the game to the Jayhawks. Martin from 20 feet. Washington up to clear it.
Well, see, this is where Nevada needs to try to pound the ball inside a little bit.
Cambridge, a 3 on the money. He is a dead-eye shooter, Nick. 38% from downtown this year, and he takes a lot of them.
Now, he is the Robin to Sherfield's Batman, but he's a pretty darn good Robin. He is a really confident player, really athletic player. can shoot the three.
Quietly averaging 17.5 points per game this year. There's a bump whistled against Sherfield. 4 early fouls against the Wolfpack in less than 3 minutes.
Nevada's an interesting team because we've talked about their size, but where their strength really lies is in the 2 guards. So you're wanting to play 2 7-footers. Now Coleman's going to check in for Washington, so you've got a little bit more size versatility in terms of matching up. But there's no doubt stopping Nevada starts with stopping the 2 lead guards for the Wolfpack.
Abaji from the elbow. Will Baker, the lone 7-footer in the game now for Nevada. That sounds weird to say in this day of college basketball.
It's amazing.
The rebound. Baker can shoot threes, though, as well. They're going to need to guard him out on the perimeter. Baker setting the screen. Ball knocked free. McCormick up ahead. Abaji 2-on-1. Brown. A little finesse to lay it in.
Kansas just can turn defense into offense in the blink of an eye.
Sherfield in trouble. Brown jumps the pass. All alone for the jam.
And the Wolfpack got to call a timeout, regroup a little bit.
KU picks up full court this time. They're really pressuring and denying way out on the floor of this ballgame.
Yeah, if you're going to be small, you have to try and deny and switch and speed up your opponent.
And Blackshear cut off. Cambridge hit a 3 earlier. Ball knocked around. Brown knocking it away from Coleman on the putback attempt. Abaji on the sideline as he caught it. KU turns it over for the first time.
Right, you and I were talking, Stephen, just Nevada trying to piece together their lineup is going to be really interesting throughout this game. We've already seen Steve Alford sit 1 7-footer down, trying to match Kansas's speed a little bit.
It's a versatile Nevada team. They do have the 2 7-footers, but they've got some depth. They can match up with about any style you want to play. There's a traveling call against Will Baker, 7-footer out of Austin, Texas, who started his career as a Longhorn.
It's a good job, though, by David McCormick, understanding that Baker can't shoot the 3, so you got to be there on the pick and pop catch, make Baker put it on the ground, and he turns it over.
Martin, nowhere to go. Out to Brown. Turns down the deep 3. Harris sets up Brown again. No room to shoot. Spinning on Sherfield. Nevada has not looked good in the half court against this Jayhawk defense as a hand check is whistled against Abaji. If you're Steve Alford in Nevada, what do you do to try to get a little flow offensively against this Jayhawk pressure?
Well, potentially a backdoor type of play to kind of alleviate that pressure. Kansas trying to really deny all wing entry passes is a good option for you. Also think the reality is when you're denying all these wing entry passes, there are driving lanes there, and get Sherfield or Cambridge an opportunity to put the ball on the deck isn't the worst idea in the world either.
Sherfield in the lane, scores it with the right hand. They get him set up off the inbounds play. First 2 of the night for the only guy in the country averaging at least 20 points and 6 assists. McCormick wanting it 1-on-1 against Washington. Good position and an easy bucket with the right hand from McCormick, who has 5 points already.
And we said it, likely going to see a lot of one-on-one post-up opportunities. That was a strong, powerful move to his go-to jump hook.
Cambridge straight on for 3. Dead solid, perfect. A couple triples early for Desmond Cambridge, the redshirt senior out of Nashville.
I love Nevada's look with that, where they get Cambridge and Sherfield a little pick and pop. Put a lot of pressure on her defense for your communication to be on point, and Kansas wasn't there.
Inside for Brown. Goes to the other side of the hoop for the reverse finish. Christian Brown, 8 early points.
Something you've seen from Kansas at times is posting Christian Brown and Ochai Abaji. And both guys have been pretty good when they've gotten the ball down by the post.
Blackshear putting it on the ground, draws contact. We'll get Remy Martin.
Kansas foul on number 11, Martin. His first, second team foul.
Sherfield has not been looking to attack the basket as of yet. You credit the KU defense for that?
Yeah, certainly doing a good job making things difficult on him. But he's a guy that can get hot in a hurry. And he likes this shot. He loves the little 15-footer as well.
A good look. Too strong on the attempt. Now Brown getting past one man into a crowd. Count it, and the foul.
Wow. Hey, that is a tough finish.
Talk about player development.
Yes.
Guys getting better and bigger and stronger in their careers. There's example A.
You took the words out of my mouth. Christian Brown, you know, he's always been a guy that's, his calling card's kind of been as a shooter. He's been underrated as an athlete, a guy taking the ball to the rim. But man, has he really spread his wings this season in that regard. And it's why he's shooting the ball at such a high percentage. Coach Self wants to see Christian Brown take more threes. But the reality is he's doing such a good job getting these shots right at the hoop.
Now, Bill Self thinks he's shooting such a high percentage because he doesn't shoot enough. Seems counterproductive.
You got a flop warning on Remy Martin there. But, you know, it'll be interesting how that progresses, though, because Christian Brown can shoot the ball. And so I understand what Coach Self is saying, that you want to see him be a little bit more aggressive to hunt those threes, but I also love his attack the hoop mentality, too, so far.
Is it a matter of more shots or just staying aggressive offensively?
I think it's about staying aggressive.
Cambridge with a heat check. Offensive rebound, Washington, and he took an extra step.
Well, you've seen games in this building enough. The first 10 minutes, you got to get your sea legs underneath you as a visiting team, where the Allen Fieldhouse crowd, Kansas's pressure, it all kind of compounds on you, and just feels like Nevada needs to take a deep breath and slow down.
McCormick calling for it inside. Hart, hard drive. Brown, open three.
I'm going to keep bragging on it. That's a great play from Remy Martin. He's getting into the lane, making plays for his teammates.
Jalen Wilson's in the game for the Jayhawks. Cambridge double teamed off the ball screen. Out to Sherfield, 15 to shoot for the Wolfpack. Sherfield stopping and popping, knocks home the triple. Took advantage of the matchup perhaps against Wilson.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Sherfield is one of those guys that he can shoot that little rocker step three off the bounce, where if he's dribbling, you can't keep your hands down or he's going to light one up.
Off the hand of McCormick. KU turns it over. McCormick will check out. Grant Sherfield, you mentioned he can get hot in a hurry. If you're the Jayhawks, you worry when he hits one like this.
No doubt. And watch how Wilson's hands are down. I mean, you've got to get a hand over the ball, break his rhythm, because when he is playing with the rock, he's just getting you to lean back and then line one up.
Hand down is a problem.
That's right, when you're dealing with Grant Sherfield.
Brown on Sherfield here, using the ball screen. Skip pass to Cambridge. Tough shot. Gets it to go. Desmond Cambridge, he's a scorer, but he's really a shooter. He gets some elevation on that shot.
And he can make tough shots like that. That was something Kansas talked about in the shoot-around. He'll take tough ones, and he'll make them.
Baji off a screen, stopping and hitting. So pretty.
Playing with so much confidence. He's in that basketball nirvana state where he's not thinking, he's just reacting, and he is playing great.
Coleman in a pickle that finds Daniel Foster, who's in off the Nevada bench. Nice ball fake. Washington unable to score it. Foster saves the possession. And Sherfield wanted a foul. There was a little bit of contact. Nice pass from Harris. Lightfoot with the finish.
Big time from DeJuan Harris. That's basketball field.
Old school with the bounce pass. Lead at 10 for KU.
And I think he's got to be really, really pleased with the first 9 minutes of this game in terms of activity, energy on the defensive end of the floor.
Jayhawks shooting over 71% so far, 10 out of 14. Harris goes baseline, reverse layup.
For Nevada to shoot.
Bill Self, defense, defense, defense.
Right. Well, and I think, you know, Kenitra is listening in is perfect, because I think we were talking about just the energy. Coach Self's talking about the details of it and understanding the scouting report and the specifics of how guys play, and Sherfield wanting to get those off the dribble threes. And so you got to combine those two. You certainly got to play hard. That has to be there. Then you got to play with intelligence as well.
Got to ask you about that scouting report today at shoot-around. It was your former teammate Jeremy Case, now an assistant coach, doing that scouting report. How cool was that for you?
Extremely. He was sharp, wasn't he?
He was outstanding. Unforced turnover there by the Jayhawks.
For Kansas, number 55, Jalen Coleman-Lands. He replaces Ochai Agbaji.
Not quite midway first half. Jayhawks have matched their biggest lead at 11. Jalen Coleman-Lands in for KU, number 55. Silver uniforms tonight. Nevada has not played since December 18th as a 3 goes home for DeAndre Henry on his first touch of the night. Hey, 6'7" sophomore with no fear. It's just his second made 3 of the season.
Like coming in and just letting one fly right away.
Wilson to answer. Lightfoot, the offensive rebound, going to work. Had it knocked away.
Really got to get into Sherfield's body here.
Sherfield will pull up.
Dodging a bullet. That's what Kenichi was talking about in the huddle with Coach Self. Understanding scouting report, you have to pick up Sherfield outside the three-point line.
Harris quickly into Lightfoot, double team. Plenty of time on the shot clock still. Coleman-Lands uses the screen. Brown, good fake, drives middle, fading. Empty possession for the Jayhawks. Cambridge, cut off, finds Henry. Hit a 3 a moment ago. Not this time. Let Sherfield go to work. Cambridge, no hesitation. Around and out. Both teams struggling to get the ball inside the arc. Now Harris does with a little hesitation, but gets called for a carrying violation.
And I thought it looked like he took a couple of steps with that ball just hanging in his hands. And all of a sudden Kansas' offense has slowed down a little bit. Haven't been able to get out in the open floor a ton, but you see that's about 2-3 steps with that ball kind of hanging.
If you want to know what a carrying violation looks like, run that tape back. I guess we don't have tape anymore. Hit rewind on your remote control.
That's right. You know what's interesting so far is that Kansas spent a lot of time today at shoot-around working against a 1-3-1 zone. I think they anticipated seeing some 1-3-1, and so far Nevada hasn't shown any, but certainly that's always in Steve Alford's back pocket.
They've stayed with only the 1 7-footer since very early in this game. As Blackshear got bumped on the drive by McCormick.
It's something I think Nevada needs to do more of. Middle of the floor ball screens. That's going to be tougher for Kansas to defend than those side ball screens where Kansas can just force the ball down to the baseline and not allow the ball handler to use the screen.
Blackshear trying to power his way in. That's an offensive foul. These perimeter players for Nevada, they're big guys. Blackshear's 6 feet 6 inches, 215 pounds. How do you use that when you're going against a smaller defender?
It's hard, and that's where Harris understands that when you lack the size, you've got to do your work early and have instincts to beat guys to the spot.
McCormick wanting it. Good work early in the post for David McCormick. Kicks it out this time. Coleman-Lands. Good fake to get baseline. And took an extra step before he got the shot away.
It's the right idea. Good kick out from McCormick. Coleman-Lands, a good 2-foot jump stop, but then just got a little sped up at the end of it.
Jayhawks have turned it over 5 times tonight. It's a 9 for the Wolfpack. Cambridge, tough shot. Gets it to go. Cambridge.
Agbaji giving a good player a rhythm elbow jump shot, and just like that, Nevada's kind of settled in here in Allen Fieldhouse.
This game's become more of a half-court battle. It seems to have favored the visitors from Reno. Over the top for McCormick, tough catch, and then lost the handle and turns it over.
It's the right idea. Got the ball exactly where you wanted to get it to, inside to McCormick. Just couldn't handle the rock.
You know, Bill Self's always got something ready coming out of a timeout.
I mean, it was going to be a layup or a dunk if McCormick hangs onto the ball.
Now a near steal instead, a tie-up. Possession arrow to the Jayhawks. Nevada nearly had a back door here.
Yeah, just multiple gray jerseys surrounding Sherfield, and that's a strong man right there ripping the ball from Grant Sherfield. But this is where Kansas has struggled a little bit. When the game has gotten bogged down to the half court, had a hard time scoring consistently. And they were able to get out and run and push it in the open floor. Had a lot of success early.
Starting 5 on the floor for the Jayhawks. What do you do to change that in the half court? Do you go into McCormick? Do you play through the guys on the perimeter?
I think Coach Self always likes to play through the big man.
McCormick taking a bump from Warren Washington will head to the line. Well, you said it a couple times early. When McCormick's against a true big, he looks infinitely more comfortable in the post.
No question. And you know, no double teams coming. The floor is going to be spread because there are 4 guards towing the arc. So when McCormick's in there, and that's something Bill Self's talked about, when McCormick's on the floor, they have to get him involved and get him touches. And so far, Kansas has done a pretty good job posting him up. He's just got to make sure that he's always converting and being strong with the rock.
61% free throw shooter, 2 of 4 at the line tonight. Basket for the Jayhawks. That free throw ends a scoring drought of more than 3 minutes.
All things considered, Nevada has to feel pretty thrilled about where they're at right now. It's a little bit of a shaky start for the Wolfpack.
Neither of these teams have played in about a week and a half. December 18th, the last action for both. Nevada got a 5-point win over Loyola Marymount that night. Washington. That's a travel.
And Kansas is going to have no problem playing one-on-one in the post defense. You know, neither of these bigs, they kind of need an angle to score. They're not necessarily going to put you in the blender with their back to the basket.
Brown across the lane. Out to Martin. Remy's taken only 1 shot so far. Now Harris, a 3 on the money. DeJuan Harris. Only his 4th of the season. The other 3 all came against the Missouri Tigers.
It's always a big thing with Harris is how well can he shoot the 3. You know, very quick, good passer. The more he can knock down shots, the harder he is to guard.
Foster underneath. Called for a travel. One thing DeJuan Harris does, he always seems to make the right decision with the basketball.
Well, and again, I want to brag on Remy Martin making the right decision. This is another good play from Remy Martin. He's getting a piece of the paint, creating opportunities for his teammates. Again, you're talking about a guy that he took 14, almost 15 shots a game last year at Arizona State. Here at Kansas, only taking 7, so he's learned how to be a little more efficient. Here he is attacking.
And getting free throws.
It's about kind of breaking old habits, instilling new habits. And what's hard is you don't want to take away Remy Martin's aggressiveness to score. I mean, this guy that led the Pac-12 in scoring last year, but you need him to think about setting the table for his teammates when using his speed and quickness for kickouts. So it's just going to be a balance for Remy Martin. His numbers are down, and you might go, man, is he having as good of a year? I actually think he's more of a sound player right now than he was at Arizona State, even though his numbers are down.
That last assist, he had the 500th of his collegiate career. He's also scored over 1,800 points.
He can do both, and that's what Coach Self's trying to get across to him. Perfectly handled. There's that slip screen, communicated it there on the catch. Really good.
Cambridge, offensive foul. Again, Remy Martin doing the right thing.
That is awesome.
And getting the crowd fired up.
And he should. And this is perfectly handled. You communicate this switch. Remy Martin there in the catch, speeds up Cambridge, takes the charge. Excellent sequence from Remy Martin.
I think a lot of folks at home are going, why is that a charge? The defender was still moving. Why is it a charge?
Well, because Remy Martin beat him to the spot and was a little bit out of control. Those are always those bang-bang kind of 50-50 calls. You can kind of call it both ways.
McCormick, baseline. Dave working hard, gets it back. Abaji now with an offensive rebound. Washington says no way.
jump there. Got to the apex of that jump quickly.
Ball knocked loose. Abaji taking it the other way. 3-on-2 down the lane. Layup good.
That's where you always got to run in transition because it opens up things. Harris and Brown running made Nevada sprint after them, and no one stopped the basketball.
Suddenly Kansas has their biggest lead of the game, up 13 on a 7-0 run. Ended by, guess who? Desmond Cambridge, who's been fearless tonight and has 13 points.
He's hot. You have to be there on the catch with Cambridge.
Our blind pass saved by Harris. Hard drive, lost the handle.
Well, if you're Christian Brown, got to do a good job staying attached to Cambridge right now.
Sherfield relatively quiet, only 5 points so far. Baseline into a crowd. Jump ball called. Possession stays with the Wolfpack. We mentioned Cambridge. He only has 13 of their 21 points.
Not bad.
He's been the guy to keep them going.
No doubt.
9th straight game in double figures for Cambridge. Had a stretch of 4 straight with 20 or more snapped in their last game.
Cambridge doesn't see the shot clock.
Nobody saw it. Nevada turning it over for the 15th time in this first half. They averaged 13 turnovers per game.
Kansas and this crowd will do that to you, but that's just poor awareness of the shot clock. It's inexcusable.
Turnover margin is 8 right now. Pretty amazing that this is only a 10-point game.
Yeah.
Lightfoot on the roll. Can't get the bounce. Stay with Nevada. Brown almost forced another turnover.
But certainly Kansas has utilized that speed to speed Nevada up. Just every single pass is contested. Every dribble's contested right now. Nothing's easy for the Wolfpack on this end of the floor.
4 to go first half. Harris on Sherfield this time. Going to use the ball screen. And pass over to Coleman. Coleman, the other side of the hoop, scores it. Bench points for the Wolfpack from Trey Coleman.
Coleman has shot it really poorly from 3 this year, and he's a guy that still takes a lot of them, but sometimes you can.
Indianapolis, he referred to Allen Fieldhouse as Hinkle Fieldhouse on steroids.
Yeah.
A little bit bigger, same vintage. He said, I love the old buildings. Cambridge from the corner. Not that time. Brown up to secure the rebound. They're looking to get Cambridge some shots right now, as hot as he's been. Brown trying to force the issue. Picks up the offensive foul.
Well, turnover number 9 for the Kansas Jayhawks. And Nevada not doing any better. They got 15, so only 24 combined turnovers here in this first half.
This has not been exemplary basketball. Sherfield, tough shot, but muscles at home.
And that's what I'm talking about, Stephen, where the floor can be spread out with Kansas denying wing entry passes. At times, Sherfield's got to put his head down and try to go drive into the lane and make something happen.
Zach Clements, the freshman in the game for the first time for KU. He's got shooting range. Had that one tipped. Cambridge got a piece of it. Nevada scored the last 7, Nick, after KU was up 13. Trying to get a little closer here. Open baseline look, DeAndre Henry. Nevada playing a little smaller right now. Henry, the tallest guy on the floor at 6'7". Wilson needs help. Looking in at Clements. Took an extra step. Make it 25 combined first half turnovers.
Just a little out of sorts in the half court right now, or really both teams, but Kansas with this lineup, they don't really have a true post in terms of throwing the ball inside. And just got even smaller now with KJ Adams into the game at the 5 spot. So you got a very small lineup both ways right now.
Both coaches going a little deeper into the bench. You mentioned Adams in for the Jayhawks. Alam Husinovic is on for Nevada, number 3. Husinovic on the drive. Tough, fading shot. Harris finding Adams on the cut. Brown straight on 3. Got it. That ends a Jayhawks scoring drought of over 3.5 minutes.
A great pass from KJ Adams. That's something Coach Self loves about him, is he just moves the ball. I mean, that ball was in and out of his hands. And Kansas got out in the open floor and got something good.
Brown 14 points, double figures for the 10th straight game. Sherfield. Very tough shot. Very. Maybe wanted a whistle. KU looking to push that lead back to double digits. Brown was open for a moment. Baji. Adams gives it back to Ochai. Harris cut off. 8 to shoot. Martin from 30 feet. My goodness. Remy Martin a little smirk, and the crowd's on their feet. Henry lost the handle. Abaji, showtime! Biggest lead of the night for the Jayhawks. Nevada wants the final shot of the half.
Have to press out on Sherfield. No easy pull-up threes.
4 seconds. Step back. Got it. Big time shot from Grant Sherfield. First half rebounds for the Jayhawks.
See if McCormick can get a touch on Baker. Baker saddled with foul trouble early. Here's a double.
Baker played only 5 minutes. 2 early fouls. Harris, tough left-handed shot, making it look easy. DeJuan Harris.
And now Harris draws the first assignment on Sherfield.
Nevada back to the big lineup, both 7-footers out there. Baker number 50, Washington number 5. They go in for Baker, matched up against Martin on the switch. Ball knocked loose, but a foul, and the Jayhawk double team. They'll get McCormick coming from the backside.
And Remy Martin got switched onto Will Baker, and it was a code red immediately as Baker just buried Martin underneath the basket. And this is the guy that needs to get going. This can be the 3rd scorer for Nevada.
Redshirt sophomore, double figure scoring 7 of their first 10 games this year. First point of the night for the left-hander. See his season numbers. 7 foot tall, 245 pounds, out of powerhouse Westlake High School in Austin.
Need him to live up to the billing. Former 5-star, top 100 recruit, Texas transfer. Needs to put his fingerprints on this game for Nevada.
Nearly a Jayhawk turnover.
Something to file away in your head. The ball went into McCormick and a double team came. There were no double teams in that first half, so Kansas needs to understand that, space the floor accordingly.
Harris over the top. Abaji the finish.
Is that Bill Self or what? Just love lobs. Especially when you got a guy like Abaji who can play above the rim.
Point Kansas lead. Danger zone early second half for the Wolfpack. Baker against Brown. Can't shoot. Blackshear finding Washington, and he throws it down.
That's all because of Will Baker on the floor. So he attracts help, gets the defense scrambling, and it ends in a dunk.
Harris, the drive, the bucket, and one. DeJuan Harris again making the right decision and scoring the ball.
You know, Harris is a guy that's, he'd rather penetrate the pass, but he's just taking what the defense gives him. And it's an open baseline. It's back-to-back drives in terms of touches for him on that wing and scoring.
It's one thing to be asked to score when you're the #1 option in high school. When you're the 5th option in college with All-American type guys around you, some scoring opportunities open up.
Well, and a lot of guys don't know how to operate if they're not the man taking all the shots. Harris does. He knows how to play off stars.
Sherfield, tough step back. Missed everything. KU quickly into the front court. Into McCormick, one-on-one with Baker. Gets it back. Slings it out. Christian Brown, open three. Cambridge closing quickly, got a piece of it. Abaji will earn a trip to the line.
Cambridge, that was an impressive recovery from Cambridge there.
Like he came from Eudora to block that.
No doubt about it. He's blocked 2 3-point opportunities, though, in this game. And he's an athletic, fast guard. Doing a good job flying around. But, again, when that ball's gone inside, there's been a double team. And there can be scoring opportunities, in particular 3-point jump shot opportunities for KU. So McCormick needs to post hard and be ready to spray that thing out.
Nevada's 4 points this half coming from their 2 big guys. 2 for Baker, 2 for Washington. Sherfield finding Cambridge in the corner. He's got another 3, his 4th of the night.
Great pass from Sherfield. That's where Nevada spaced the floor, puts your help in a predicament because you got to help on the roll, but you're leaving Cambridge.
Well-designed play by Steve Alford as KU turns it over. And you mentioned Sherfield in the find. Steve Alford today said he didn't like to compare his guys to other players, but said Sherfield reminded him a bit of a guy he had at UCLA, Aaron Holiday, and how he could score offensively but also set other guys up.
Yeah, kind of similar bodies as well. I like that comp. Aaron Holiday could really, really play.
Playing at the next level now.
That exact same look.
This time it's Baker getting the open 3. He'll hit those. He's 50% out there. Nevada getting what they want the last 2 possessions. Now Brown, left hand. Left it short. McCormick the rebound. Smart. Short on the deep 3.
Well, we saw Christian Brown able to get a drive against the 7-footer Baker, but still find ways to try to take advantage and exploit that matchup whenever Nevada is playing the 2 bigs. But this is the end of the floor where it can be problematic when you got the size in there.
Blackshield, nice job to get it over to Baker while falling down. Abaji with the strip and steal. Jayhawks run. Martin lost the handle, got it back, finds Brown.
That's a perfect example of not converting off of a turnover.
Guess who's wide open? Cambridge. Missed that 3. Back the other way. Harris in a hurry. Brown down the lane. Months.
Agreed. It's a good lead.
Sherfield turning down the screen. Little scoop high off the window.
Something Sherfield does a good job is refusing ball screens.
Know exactly how far they can go as well. He is the college basketball coaching version.
That's right.
You know just how far you can go with the officials.
That's it.
Your kids are perfect. They would never do
never,
that, right?
Never. I got nothing but 2 angels at home. You know?
Brown hits both free throws.
So it could be a 4 or 5 point possession here. See what happens.
See what Bill Self has drawn up out of this timeout. Baji on the curl, steps back, long 2. Maybe not exactly what they were looking for.
Well, don't you? I thought he could have just caught it on the curl. I think he was expecting the defense to be there.
Cambridge, a rise and fire, missing everything. Martin with the push. Brown, a little bobble. It's Martin again. Harris, open three. He's got 2 tonight.
Good job by Martin. Again, I'm going to praise it every time. Using that speed and quickness to set kickouts up for his teammates.
On Harris, 12 points. Blocking foul. Remy Martin, he drew a charge on a similar play in the first half.
Remy Martin, that's his second personal, second team foul.
Martin's done this a lot tonight, just getting into the lane. He's a tough guy to keep out of the lane, but he's thinking about setting the table for his teammates. And I love how DeJuan Harris took his time. You see how he got his feet completely underneath him and then let it fly.
Cambridge hounded into that shot by Harris. And Agbaji all alone. Beat him down the floor. Don't look now, but it's a 20-point game.
That's how fast it can happen.
7-0 Jayhawk run. And a near turnover. Foul, though, called on
Kansas foul
Christian Brown.
The second personal, third team
Agbaji
foul.
leaking out on this last play.
Kansas is just so good in the open floor. They got multiple guys that can run, convert.
Looking to run again. And Agbaji sprinting the floor again. Gets another. Well then.
Big time.
You were saying Kansas transition?
You got to get out and run. This is impressive, Stephen Davis says. KU putting it on the Wolfpack in Allen Fieldhouse.
Quick 9 from the Jayhawks to push this lead to 22. Nick, they are really good when they get out and run.
Well, and Ochai Agbaji, look at number 30 down at the bottom of your screen. I mean, he takes off and really runs every single time. That's obviously poor defensive balance from Nevada. But again, Ochai Agbaji, he was down underneath the basket and then beats everybody down the floor. And that's how both him and Christian Brown are shooting such a high percentage, because they get out and run and get easy ones in the open floor. And you have 2 point guards typically on the floor with them, and Remy Martin, DeJuan Harris, who can set the table and pitch ahead.
What's it like being the fastest guy on the floor?
I would not know. I was with Aaron Miles. I was not even the bronze medalist for. Come on, Stephen, you saw me in those.
Who's the fastest guy you've seen on a basketball court? Let's go with that.
Honestly, I talk about with the ball. Aaron Miles with the ball, inline to inline, was super fast. And he could make good decisions, too.
Andrew Wiggins was pretty fast.
Yes, he was.
Inline to inline. Was, still is.
Yeah.
Another steal. Here they come running again. Nevada getting back this time. Agbaji on the handoff to Wilson. Wilson driving it. Lightfoot from 17. Open shot, maybe not the guy they want taking it.
No, it's good ball movement, but just ended in a spot where that's not Mitch Lightfoot's strength.
Nevada has not scored in about 2.5 minutes. Baker. Good defense from Lightfoot.
Very good. Good strength. Standing his ground.
Remy Martin, nice move.
Had the mismatch, did everything but made the layup.
Cambridge pull up 3. Nevada a little out of sorts right now offensively. Really seeing tonight why both teams wanted to play a game tonight when their opponents canceled. Just to get game action as you get towards conference play.
I know that's surprising to some people, but you'd be shocked how quickly you can get rusty.
Second three of the night for Remy Martin. Did you always feel rusty coming back from a holiday break after going home?
Yes. You lose your lungs are burning a little bit. You got to get back into shape. It can take a while, and there's nothing quite like a game.
Good ball movement by the Wolfpack. Open three in the corner from Foster, but unable to knock it down. Baji finding Brown left side. Martin, hard drive. Cambridge with another rejection. It's his third block of the night and his 11th of the season.
Yeah, his recovery, I mean, he's beat here, but he's able to send that thing to the student section. It's just long, he's athletic.
Long, and you can shoot it. You'll get some looks at the next level.
Absolutely.
Chance for Nevada to run. Open three, Keenan Blackshear, and he knocks it home. They'll call it a 2. They may look at that on the replay in a couple moments. First points of the night for Blackshear.
So interesting that Nevada hasn't shown any zone. Again, Kansas today worked almost exclusively on 1-3-1 zone.
Martin knocking down the jumper off the ball screen. Nevada has also played with only one of the 2 7-footers on the floor the large majority of the night. Yes. Foster being AP just set into the game and immediately picks up a foul.
Big opportunity though for Yesufu, and even a guy like Jalen Coleman-Lands just haven't been able to get on the floor for extended minutes.
Sherfield step back over Yesufu. Sherfield 13 points tonight, but kind of a quiet 13. He's had to work really hard for it.
Here's that 1-3-1 zone.
Harris to Yesufu, now Lightfoot. Coleman lands over the zone. Washington in the game. Baker's on the bench. Tipped out by the Jayhawks to stay with Nevada. It's an interesting Jayhawk lineup. A couple guys, as you said, who don't see a lot of time. And you've got a starter in Harris, 6th-year senior in Lightfoot, and Jalen Wilson, who's trying to recapture last season's magic.
Well, and you heard Kenitra relay the message from Coach Self. He's one of those guys, he doesn't care who's on the floor. There's a standard that you have to play to, and he's going to hold Yesufu to the same standard as Ochai Agbaji and go on down the line.
Foster, a 3. Rebound foul against Kansas. You played for Bill Self. Is that standard something that as you play more years in his system, you feel more comfortable with what it is?
No question. You know exactly what it is that he's looking for, and you also get accustomed to the style at which Coach Self coaches. I mean, he's a guy that's going to let you know exactly where you stand, and you learn how to play with that and how to absorb that. So, you know, some of the first-year guys, it takes them a little bit. I was exponentially more comfortable in year 2 than I was in year 1 with Coach Self.
Wilson, foul line, knocks it down. First points of the night for Jalen Wilson.
He's a guy that's got to continue to get rolling. So important for Kansas and their long-term success is Jalen Wilson.
Sherfield double team, shoots anyway. Wilson the rebound. He wants to push it. Coleman lands, 3 ball. Possession to Nevada.
You feel like Wilson's a guy that suspension to start the year, it can just throw you off rhythm a little bit, and he's still trying to get his flow back. And sometimes when a team plays a stretch of games and they get kind of used to things without you, it can be hard to get back in the rhythm.
Blackshear drawing a foul, went down hard.
Get up,
Kansas foul number 1, Joseph Yesufu.
I think it's a mental hurdle for Jalen Wilson to overcome as much as anything.
Yes, I think there's a little bit of that as you're taking a look at Blackshear and the drive. But, Stephen, the other part of it, too, is sometimes guys got to realize that for you to come in the game, somebody's got to come out of the game.
Right.
And you look between Harris, Remy Martin, Abaji, and Christian Brown, you know, who's coming off the floor with those 4 guys? And so there's also an element of that as you got some pretty good dudes on the floor right now. But, yeah, I just think it's just getting comfortable. You lose a little bit of the reps for Jalen Wilson, but he'll get there.
20 minutes off the bench available as Washington slams it home.
39 minutes. When I came in that last minute, if I did something wrong, he was going to tell me about it. You know, it's the mark of a great coach. He's going to hold you to that standard.
McCormick laying it in off the feed from Martin. There's Remy again, creating a shot.
Getting 2 feet in the paint, making plays for his teammates.
Good look by Blackshear, and Washington will shoot 2.
Kansas foul on number 11, Remy Martin.
Stephen, when you watch Remy Martin at Arizona State, he settled for a lot of tough jump shots. And he's too quick of a player, and he's got too good of basketball instincts to not utilize his playmaking ability as well. And I just think slowly but surely you're seeing more and more of that from Remy Martin.
Jalen Wilson returns for the Jayhawks.
And he's not afraid to play with flair.
No, and yeah, that's something that Coach Self has talked about is the team needs his personality. You know, Ochai Abaji's kind of a stoic guy. Christian Brown, I think, is coming out of his shell a little bit more this year.
A little
bit more barking and woofing from him. But DeJuan Harris is more of a quiet, reserved guy. You need some dudes that are alphas and loud, and Remy Martin is that.
McCormick going to work. Kept it alive. Cambridge comes out with it. Tough shot, Cambridge. You got to have a guy that gets the crowd going. Remy Martin's that guy. Harris threw it to KJ Adams. Unfortunately, KJ's on the bench with his warm-up on.
Well, and you also need a guy to not just get the crowd going, to get your teammates going. You know, I mean, Coach Self used to always talk that you're either an energy giver or you're an energy taker. And he's really big on that. And one thing Remy Martin does is he plays with a level of flair that I think brings everybody else up on the floor.
It's basketball. It's fun.
That's right.
Off for their ball handling. KU ball out of the timeout.
And in this building, the pressure is even amplified more because there's 16,300 people heating you up.
Jayhawks with 4 starters on the floor here, and Wilson in with Martin on the bench right now. Washington took the worst of that coming around, but gets the foul.
But that's what you wonder, too, coming off the COVID year where there weren't fans in the stands. That's just an adjustment to that. Bill Self's even talked about that being a little bit nervous for when conference play comes around. I think he really wanted to have that Colorado game played because he needed to play in front of a hostile environment, have to fight through it.
I mentioned the game added against George Mason Saturday. Looming after that is a trip to Gallagher-Iba Arena. A place that can get rowdy.
Yes, it can.
Blackshear attacking. Finds Baker. Left-hand finish. It is different to go on the road now. This Kansas team experienced with guys who have played in those environments in their younger days. Abaji up top. McCormick, the finish. Double-digit scoring for David McCormick off the nice find from Ochai Abaji. There's 7 to go in this one. Sherfield looking for some space.
Good defense from McCormick and Brown on Sherfield. As you can see, he was hunting. He's wanting to get some shots up.
Baker, 3 up top. Perfect.
3-point basket for Will Baker.
Talented player. You know, he's a guy that As he continues to play more extended minutes and gets comfortable, he's going to be a problem for people in the Mountain West.
Brown, tough running shot, kissed home off the window. 20-point night, Christian Brown.
It's just crazy for a wing to be shooting over 60% from the floor.
Baker again up top. KU trying to run. Baji was sprinting the floor. They couldn't get it to him. Good kick out by McCormick. Wilson pays it off.
You said it, Stephen. What a great pass from David McCormick. When bigs catch it and look to the opposite side of the floor, good things happen when the ball gets delivered on time, on target.
Baker called for steps. This is an old school post move.
Little running hook there.
Yeah, I like it. Fellow with the headband. Give me more of that.
I love it.
Brown on the drive. My goodness, contorting the body.
And 60% from the floor, 62% for the season. I mean, it's just
got to make some tough ones.
That's right. They're not all going to be easy dunks.
Blackshear lost his balance. Ball loose. Brown to the floor to get it. He's got 22 points. His team's up 23, and he's diving on the floor with 5 minutes to go. And DeJuan Harris has a career-high 14 points tonight.
Love the play from Christian Brown, though. You and I were at shoot-around. There was a loose ball rebound, and him and Michael Jankovic should walk on. They wrestled for the rebound today at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, all the way down to the other end of the floor. That stuff matters, though. That stuff is contagious, and the other guys see it.
Cormack left-hand jump hook. The Jayhawk offense functioning at a high level right now. Coming up right after the game here on ESPN+. 4:20 to go in this one. Nevada basketball. Sherfield with it. Sherfield tonight, 13 points, 4 assists. Jayhawks have done a nice job guarding him.
You just got to make the scores like that work.
Sherfield, the scoop. McCormick got a piece of it, came down a little awkwardly. So foul was whistled. They do get McCormick for the foul as well.
Kansas foul number 33, David McCormick.
One of the things that Coach Self told Kenitra at halftime was he felt like the ball got sticky in the first half. The ball movement wasn't as good. I felt here in the second half, the ball is popped. You know, very, very rarely has the ball stuck in one side of the floor. And times when you do that, you find easy shots.
1 of 2 at the line for Sherfield, his first trip to the line tonight. KJ Adams in the game now for KU. They go to Abaji here for an open 3. Blackshear the rebound. Long lead pass for Washington, and Nevada turns it over for the 21st time. You want a good stat?
Give it to me.
21 turnovers tonight for Nevada. It is the 3rd consecutive game that Kansas has forced its opponent into at least 20 turnovers. That's the first time since the first 3 games of the 2007-2008 season that the Jayhawks have done that. You know what happened at the end of that season?
Well, I can look up and see that there is a banner that would tell me what happened at the end of the season. That's the national title team.
It is, and that was a really, really good defensive team. The numbers don't show that KU is great defensively. They're last in the Big 12 in defensive field goal percentage, last in the Big 12 in points allowed, but Bill Self says it's because they're allowing more possessions per game. They're playing faster. But this team does force turnovers.
Yes. That's quite a stat, though.
Doing something that hasn't been done since the national title team.
I was going to say, if you are the company you keep, that's excellent company to be in, because that team was incredible. Mario Chalmers, Sharon Collins, Brandon Rush,
Russell Robinson,
my guy.
Coleman will shoot 2.
Darrell Arthur, Sasha Khan, Darnell Jackson.
No bad defenders of the names you just mentioned.
No.
Trey Coleman at the line, shooting 2.
But that's what you have to do, Stephen. If you're going to play small, you got to be disruptive. If you're small and you just sit back and let teams run offense, you're going to have a hard time because you're giving up size, and they're going to be able to get the ball where they want to get it to in the paint, at the rim, and score over you. And so if you're going to play the 4-guard lineup, in particular the 2 point guards in that 4-guard lineup, in Martin and Harris, got to turn teams over and make them uncomfortable.
Quickness and length in that 4-guard lineup, though. Starters are all on the bench, likely for the rest of the night. Coleman lands, step-in jumper, knocks it home, his first points tonight.
Really important minutes for everybody on the floor right now. Clements, Coleman lands, Wilson, Yesufu, KJ Adams.
Washington fouled by Clements. I'd ask who catches your eye in this group for Kansas, but I think they all have something to prove right now to the coaching staff. They deserve to be in the regular rotation.
Think about this. If I told you any one of these guys are going to play a pivotal role at some point in the rest of the season, you'd believe it.
Absolutely.
Every one of them.
They're all capable.
All of them are. Yesufu had big-time performances in the NCAA tournament. Had 21 against Wichita State, 26 against USC last year. Clements can shoot it. KJ Adams is a live body athlete. Coleman lands is about Mitch Lightfoot's age. He's been in college basketball for forever and is a good shooter. You know what Jalen Wilson can do. And all these guys got to continue to stay confident and comfortable on the floor.
Wilson off the rebound.
He's looked good tonight, don't you think? He's had a good rhythm and flow and bounce to him.
7 points all in the second half for Wilson. Sherfield bumps away the defender and knocks home the step back. Preseason Mountain West Player of the Year. Nevada gets conference play going Saturday. They host the New Mexico Lobos. Sherfield pull up 3. They'll try it again. One short, one long. Ball game Saturday, Nevada, New Mexico. Steve Alford against Richard Pitino.
It's a nice little matchup.
Clements into the scorebook. And a loud roar erupts. Bill Self's going to the end of the bench. Chris Tehan ready to check into the game. Michael Jankovic right behind him.
You know what's coming. All those guys are going to get one up here, and the crowd's going to want it pretty bad.
That clip we showed in pregame, you and Jeff Hawkins.
Yeah. Hopefully they make their three-point attempts.
You made your share.
I made a couple, but yeah, conveniently our video people couldn't find the ones that went in. They just found the ones that didn't.
Baker trying to back his way in.
Kansas foul on number 21.
Surprised Zach Clements gets the foul.
Will Baker at the line, shooting 2.
Tough night for Baker. Played the first 5 minutes of the game, then sat the rest of the first half with foul trouble.
It's just so hard. Foul trouble just derails your rhythm and flow in a game most of the time. It's really tough if you only play 4 or 5 minutes in the first half to get it rolling in the second half.
Clements putting it on the ground.
One minute
12 to shoot. Jankovic, deep 3. Final 50 seconds of this one. KU will move to 10-1 on the year. Nevada will fall to 6-5.
Kansas foul line number 21, Zach Clemens, his third.
Well, I think Bill Self's got to be thrilled with the work that his team got in today. There was some good, there was some bad. You work off the rust. This is a dangerous Nevada team that's got two really good lead guards that you can learn a lot from, and how you defended and handled them. It just was a very productive night for Kansas.
A night where, as of right now, Kansas has their highest field goal percentage of the season for one game.
Is it T-hand time?
It is T-hand time. Jankovic getting somebody another look here. A.J. Adams. Final 15 seconds. Blackshear lost it. Look at Adams diving on the floor.
Big smile from Bill Self, too.
You like guys that want to be out there. Anytime, any score.
Trust me, he likes that a lot.
Baker to close the night.